I don't usually make this kind of video, but I felt that I needed to weigh in on one of the biggest developments in tabletop gaming in the last several decades. For those who are unaware, the decision I'm referring to is Wizards trying to revoke the so-called open gaming license that most editions of D&D have been published under for the last 20 years or so. Um, there's been a leak suggesting that they want to replace the language of the existing license with a new one. I don't want to spend too much time covering the details. I'll put a link in the description to someone who has more accurate information. I haven't spent a lot of time talking about it on this channel because I made this channel to sort of just goof off and make game design stuff and edit videos and do other random crap like that. I never really planned to talk about my experience practicing law. Um, but I used to be a litigator. I was not an intellectual property specialist, so I can't tell you what this situation looks like from the position of somebody who specializes in IP, but as a litigator, I can tell you that it is completely absurd and just like very offensive as a fan. As it's hard to sort of quantify exactly how terrible this decision is for everybody involved. I mean, I would like to be productive. I would like to be productive, and I would like to not use sarcasm or foul language, but like it's really hard. It's really hard not to under the circumstances. I mean, you had one job. Like, you had one job. These people build themselves as like business management specialists, suggesting that they deserve to make like hundreds of thousands of dollars in corporate salary for, yeah, I don't know, making the green line go up, right? But uh, I cannot think of a better way to make it go down or to make it go down in the long term, like to destroy the credibility of the company in the long term in order to make very, very short term profits. And I think we are seeing a pattern, really. We look at the decisions in December regarding Magic the Gathering's 30th anniversary, and now followed up this week with another unbelievably terrible decision. And we're seeing a pattern. We're seeing the behavior of somebody who has absolutely no idea how to run a business except to say, fuck the customers, make them pay more. And we should all be very upset about it. Even as a professional, this move is basically just hostile and irrational and doesn't even serve the purpose it's ostensibly supposed to. Apparently, the new gaming license language has been suggested in response to an internal motivation to make more money, basically off of D&D. So I can't imagine how terrible, truly, how awful you have to be at your job to decide that the best way to improve the profitability of a product is to completely alienate the audience of that product. Now, I was a kid when the open gaming license was first unveiled, so I don't really remember what it was like in the community at that time. We were just kids, right? So we would have made whatever we wanted without really thinking about whether it could be taken or used for profit or whether, like, we didn't think about that kind of stuff. But when it was released over 20 years ago now, it was one of the most popular decisions that has ever been made in the history of the franchise. So there has been a skyrocketing increase in the popularity of D&D since the open gaming license was unveiled, and I think it is obviously, undoubtedly, because of the open gaming license. People really appreciate being allowed to participate to that extent with the game. They appreciate being included and being considered and being treated as valid contributors to what is our, by and large, people's like favorite pastime. So taking that away from them is perhaps the single greatest way to inform them, to make them think about the fact that there are other companies on which to spend their money and there are other games to play other than Dungeons and Dragons. The fact that D&D has been synonymous with tabletop gaming has largely been encouraged by the level to which the fans were allowed to participate. I won't try to tell you what game to play or how to make content for that game, but I will tell you that if this really is the direction they're going to take moving forward, there's just no reason to play D&D. You can just play other games. You can just make other games. You could I don't want to say that you could like reskin D&D because that's not the principle we should be looking at, but you could make your own game that has whatever you want in it. And that really should have been the first thing at the forefront of the mind of the people making this decision, is that I guess they thought about D&D as something which didn't make them a lot of money, but did make the company very popular. And I can't imagine why they would want to sacrifice the latter in service of the former. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, personally. I don't think you have to be like very left leaning to see that this will negatively impact the profitability of a company. Like there's being interested in improving profits, and then there is just being ideologically opposed to any kind of like free information sharing. And like I don't know who needs to hear this. Like I don't know who is on the side of this decision for any reason that is genuine. I think it's mostly a shock tactic to test how people will react. So, in that case, react very negatively. Contribute to the wave of creators who find this completely appalling. And be prepared to distance yourself from the company moving forward. That's all I've really got for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Maybe we'll talk more about this kind of stuff if there are more updates to talk about soon. Have a good one.